Hello, besties. I promise this is going to be a normal-ish blog. Although, now that I'm here, let's talk about types of days. So when I first became a dad, and I first became a writer, because those two can't happen at the same time, I came back from my deployment to Africa in 2020, right after COVID hit, and I had a 6-year-old son. Now he's like 5.5-ish. So it was a whole new world, right? And I was in lockdown for like 3 weeks, just like itching to go home and be with my family. As soon as it was feasible, so I was a civilian then, Army reservist, part-time. As soon as it was feasible, my job was like, hey, can you come back? We need you badly. And I'm like, sure. So I had to go back, do a week of training, go to work, and then basically I'd work 4 days a week, then kind of like the evening shift, right? So I'd have 4 types of days. So depending on where I woke up and where I slept, right? So I'd either wake up, or I was staying in North Jersey, I would wake up in South Jersey, and then I would either sleep at one of the other places, right? Because there were days when I would wake up in South Jersey, spend the morning with my family, and then drive to Manhattan, right? I did that for like 2 years, 3 years, almost 3 years, right? I was doing that. Then I went on active duty. But so I had 3 different types. I had 4 types of days. So I could have a day in the morning, where I started out the morning and didn't have the kids, didn't have my kid, or I'd have a day where I had nothing to do until I went to work, right? And some days I would spend my day, I would wake up in the morning and I would drive down to see my family, and sometimes I would, so like think about the types of days that you're having and where you can write in those days, right? So I used to be able to write at work, bring my laptop in, work on write on my break. There was like nobody there at that time of day, so pop into the dining room, whatever they called it, the break room type there. So it was good because I was typing on a laptop. That laptop is like so busted now. But now I have 2 types of days, right? So I have a day when I work and I have a day when I don't work. And basically I can write before the kids wake up, work and write during my breaks, and that is it on the days that I work. And the days that I don't work, when I'm with the kids, I can write before the kids wake up or after they go to bed. And I finally got them trained. They're going to sleep on time, which means I have some time after this. Like you can see it's dark out. Got them to sleep on time today. So this goes back to, you have to make time for the things you want to do, right? So it's important to me to write. So I kind of went back down. So what I did in 2024 was I started daily posting in my log, like how many words I was writing. And then like I for about a month and a half, I just wrote I had no 0 days, right? I just wrote like 200, 300, 1,000 words until I was like, okay, I've got this. This is a muscle you can work. So this is a muscle you can work, right? You can figure out how to train this. This is a muscle. I would say muscle in air quotes. You can figure out how to write 400 words. You get used to that. Then you can update it to 500 words, 1,000 words, right? All the while you're like getting better at writing, right? So it got to a point where I'm like, okay, NaNoWriMo is 1,600 words, or like a write-a-thon, write-a-thon junior It's 1,600 words a day. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get to that. What's the next hurdle? 2,000 words, right? And then I got to like 2,500 words, and I was consistently writing 2,500 words for most of 2024 and most of 2025. And now I just kind of hit like a little bit where I'm like, okay, you can write a scene where you're really into the scene, and then the readers will be like, okay, yeah, the author really likes this, right? Or you can write a scene where you're like, this has to happen, and then you kind of slog through it. And my feeling is that if you have to slog through it, you should not write it. You should do a narrative summary and then come back. And if you really feel like it has to be spelled out like all the way, then do it. But if you are not enjoying writing something, then it's going to reflect it in how people read it and how they perceive it. And your job as an entertainer, as a writer, is to have them perceive it in the way you want them to perceive it, right? So when I see, going back to my last video, like when you see Valerie, I want you to perceive that she is drunk, that she is inebriated for a reason, and that reason is because of everything that's going on around her, right? That is the intent, right? And I want you to think about like, let me see, in Bodega Cat. I want you to think about why Bagel, the Bodega Cat's desire is to find family, right? And how he can't like verbalize that because he's never really had that. He's just had like kind of work colleagues because he was a cat in a store. Yeah. I don't know where to go with this. So I want you to think about, going back to the days, what types of days you're having, and then if it helps, you can write in your bullet journal and say, all right, I'm actually having these many types of days, and this is why I'm not being able to write on this day. And sometimes the thing is you just don't have a time, right? So like for me writing, I'm on this, and I'm dictating my notes, and then I'll edit later, right? It takes me far less time to edit my notes now. And it's mostly removing artifacts, like a extra space or two. Far less time, because I've been dictating my notes for a while, and I can get 500 words in 15 minutes easily. Usually it's like over 1,000 words, which is 4K words per hour. But then my goal now is 1,000 words, which is something easily attainable on the days that I work. On the days I don't work, anything over 0 works, right? And that's where I'm like, okay, if I set the expectation for myself that anything is fine, right? Because basically you want to have, you're doing a launch on Royal Road or novelizing, you want to batch your content, you want to have a bunch of content all at once, then you spread it out, right? I just got yelled at this from Chicken. She's like, hey, you told me to schedule stuff, and I'm like, I'm scheduling it. So right now, if you're tracking my Patreon, I'm posting 1 chapter a day of Bodega Cat, and then I will post it on Royal Road, and I'll be like, hey, starting off fresh, you'll have about 20 chapters in advance on day 4, or I could just schedule all the Patreon stuff to come out, but I'd rather just like edit it, post it on Patreon, and then like they can go back and look at it whenever they want to. The scheduling is like me putting it on 4 chapters on one day, 3 chapters the next day, 3 chapters the day after that. The goal of having like 20,000 words within the first 5 days, and then daily chapters after that. I have a feeling this is going to be my most popular fiction ever, mostly because of you guys, the fans. So what I want you to think about is, here's your takeaway, here's your assignment. So really look at the kind of days you're having, and then where is your opportunity to write or dictate your notes. And if you don't see an opportunity to dictate your notes or write for 5 seconds on your phone, then you have to look at and see like, okay, what can I change? The first thing I would change would be if I could do it again, I would probably not have my commute be so long. So it's like I'm driving like 2 hours a day, which is a lot. I'd rather be like 45 minutes to an hour, but yeah, that's a good time. If you're driving, if you're on the bus, you can type it out. You can type some notes, even if it's just like, hey, in this scene, I want this to happen. And then you just like lay the foundation. But I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about like, okay, are there days when I can't write? Okay. Are there days that I can only write at this time of day? All right, then you have to make a priority, right? Because like there are all these tactics and strategies. Strategies, the big thing. Tactics, the small thing that you can do to get your stuff out there. But if you don't have something to post, if you don't have something creatively ready to go, what are you doing? You need to take the time. And there are certain people that you're going to look at this and you're like, oh, Weaver says take my time and write 5 books. If this is your first book, just post it. Just get it out there. Especially you, Steve. Do it. Because I'm just seeing too many people that are just like reluctant to put their work out there. Because they're afraid of criticism. Then they think that by waiting and taking forever to release something that they will be above criticism. When the criticism really is like you're just denying yourself a chance to get better and get critique and get fans. Like I've been writing for years and I have some diehard fans now. And I love these guys. They post, it's like some guys post in every chapter. I'm like, yeah, you're the best. But you can't get that if you don't post something. And then you have to slowly start building. And then that's when the magic happens. So that's what I got for you, besties. I'm going down from 2,500 a day to 1,000 minimum on work days. And then I'm going to start working on Food Chocolate RPG next. It's going to be an interesting summer. Already planning it out. So, write, produce, schedule your content. Do it. Because next month is Immersive Ink Convention, and you're all invited. Have a great day.